Hello there, this is Heirs to the Kingdom channel, and in today's lesson, we're doing chapters 11 through 14 in the book of Job. If you're new to this, it's the Bible study channel going through the KJV Bible, not skip anything as Scripture's command. So if you would, please like, subscribe, and share this content, and let's get started. So we've already had the second friend. A fourth person shows up and starts talking as well, and God condemns that person for what they say and how they say it later on. We'll get to that, but when God explains everything to Job. But anyways, so the second person that's talked saying pretty much the same stuff the first person said. That, this wouldn't be happening to you if you didn't do something wrong. And once again, it's like, he didn't call for them to come to him. He didn't ask them for anything, not for money, not for help, not for anything. He just, 7 days, he sat in silence, mourning and thinking and praying before he even spoke. He's just wanting to know why. That's pretty much what he's wanting to know. Why? Because he knows he didn't do anything to deserve it. So, but now we're going into the third friend, Zophar. So, let's go ahead and get started here, because he's pretty much going to say the same stuff. And what they do say is some truth in what they say, but also false allegations at the same time. This is one of those lessons that says, do not unjustly judge. The proper thing for a friend to do in this situation says, did you do anything to anger God? That they're just assuming he did to have all this calamity come to his life. But also scriptures teach us that, things in life is by chance. Where you're born, your parents, if you're born poor, born rich, born in the middle, born under tyranny, born in freedom, blah, blah, blah. If you're born under that lucky star or a cursed moon, it's all by chance. And people out there, they know what I'm talking about. You got some people that's like they're always in the right place at the right time to receive the best deals or best this and the good job or whatever else, or the chance here, the chance there. And it's like other people's like, no matter what they do or where they walk at in life, it's like something's always wrong. Something always goes wrong. It always goes the opposite direction. It's like they have more bad than good things happen in their life. And it's all by chance. And we're to just live life the best we can, following God and being holy and righteous with what we got. Being content. Most of us fail this. I've failed it. I know most of y'all did too. It's like, if your life has not been the way that you wanted, but you just have to accept it. It's like, hey, it's just the way it is. Some people get things, some people don't. Don't envy their life and don't covet their life, because that's wrong to do. Be happy with what you got. But so let's go ahead and get started here. Chapter 11, verse 1. Then answered Zophar the Naamathite and said, should not the multitude of words be answered, and should a man full of talk be justified? Should thy lies make men hold their peace? So here he gets, call him a liar. Continue on. And when thou mockest, shall no man make thee ashamed? Yeah, these are not good friends at all. 4. For thou hast said, my doctrine is pure, and I am clean in thine eyes. But oh, that God would speak and open his lips against thee, and that he would show thee the secrets of wisdom, that they are double to that which is. Know therefore that God exacteth of thee less than thine iniquity deserveth. Yeah, this one just comes out being bluntly just, attacking Job, just calling him a liar, saying that his words are not justified, everything else. Now, in modern life, what we just say is like, get out of here, get off my land, get out of my area. I don't even want to talk to you all. But Job keeps trying to explain himself to these so-called three friends. And, that's what the book is about. Is, if you know the truth, stick by the truth. Don't let worldly people or other people try to sway you to do things their way. Anyways, verse 7. Canst thou by searching find out God? Canst thou find out the Almighty unto perfection? It is as high as heaven. What canst thou do? Deeper than hell, what canst thou know? The measure thereof is longer than the earth, and broader than the sea. If he cut off and shut up, or gather together, then who can hinder him? For he knoweth vain men. He seeth wickedness also. Will he not then consider it? For vain man would be wise, though man be born like a wild ass's colt. If thou prepare thine heart and stretch out thine hands toward him, if iniquity be in thine hand, put it far away, and let not wickedness dwell in thy tabernacles. So here's what's got us also thinking that, this is pre-King David and this, that, and the other, King Solomon times, is because they're using the word tabernacles instead of temples. Tabernacles were the tents. That's why I must believe that this is kind of like in the Exodus time frame, Deuteronomy and stuff, whatever. It's definitely before, King Solomon. King Solomon built the first temple. It was still tabernacles up till then. So it's somewhere in that time frame as when the book of Job is. Unless they're just in an area with no temples, and so they built tabernacles instead. That's a possibility also. Anyways, 15. For then shalt thou lift up thy face without spot. Yea, thou shalt be steadfast and shalt not fear. So look at that face without spot means there's no blemish on you. You can lift up your face knowing that there's nothing wrong in you. So this guy's doing nothing but just calling Job a liar, a deceiver, someone sinning against God, and, or it wouldn't be happening type thing. 16. Because thou shalt forget thy misery, and remember it as waters that pass away, and thine age shall be clearer than the noonday, thou shalt shine forth, thou shalt be as the morning, and thou shalt be secure, because there is hope. Yea, thou shalt dig about thee, and thou shalt take thy rest in safety. Also thou shalt lie down, and none shall make thee afraid. Yea, many shall make suit unto thee. But the eyes of the wicked shall fail, and they shall not escape, and their hope shall be as the giving up of the ghost. So here you got the little picture here. Zophar is the one on the right, lifting up his hands against, Job, and Job's the one on the left, he's still mourning and stuff, trying to tell him, hey, you did something for this. Just admit it. It's like, crooked cops trying to get you to confess to something or whatever else. We know you did it, just admit it. We know you did it, just admit it. When you don't know the facts of anything, you're just speculating. And that's the problem. That's what these three men have done as sins, that they are accusing someone of something without knowing truth. And Scripture says you're not to unjustly judge. Chapter 12. And Job answered and said, No doubt but ye are the people, and wisdom shall die with you. But I have understanding as well as you. I am not inferior to you. Yea, who knoweth not such things as these? I am as one mocked of his neighbor, who calleth upon God, and he answereth him. The just upright man is laughed to scorn. He that is ready to slip with his feet is as a lamp despised in the thought of him that is at ease. The tabernacles of robbers prosper, and they that provoke God are secure. into whose hand God bringeth abundantly. But ask now the beasts, and they shall teach thee, and the fowls of the air, and they shall tell thee, or speak to the earth, or and it shall teach thee, and the fishes of the sea shall declare unto thee. Who knoweth not in all these that the hand of the Lord hath wrought this? In whose hand is the soul of every living thing, and the breath of all mankind? Doth not the ear try words, and the mouth taste his meat? With the ancient is wisdom, and in length of days understanding. With him is wisdom and strength, he hath counsel and understanding. Behold, he breaketh down, and it cannot be built again. He shutteth up a man, and there can be no opening. Behold, he withholdeth the waters, and they dry up. Also he sendeth them out, and they overturn the earth. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. He leadeth counselors away spoiled, and maketh the judges fools. He looseth the bond of kings, and girdeth their loins with a girdle. He leadeth princes away spoiled, and overthroweth the mighty. He removeth away the speech of the trusty, and taketh away the understanding of the aged. He poureth contempt upon princes, and weakeneth the strength of the mighty. He discovereth deep things out of darkness, and bringeth out to light the shadow of death. He increaseth the nations, and destroyeth them. He enlargeth the nations, and straighteneth them again. He taketh away the heart of the chief of the people of the earth, and causeth them to wander in a wilderness where there is no way. They grope in the dark without light, and he maketh them to stagger like a drunken man. Now, going to part, I don't know if you understood the part here, it says, and strengtheneth them again. It's like, saying that, like, verse 23 is a perfect example of America. He increaseth the nation and destroyeth them. He enlargeth the nation and straighteneth them again. America has fallen apart because it walked away from God. God built America, made America great, increased the country and everything therein. He'll also let them be destroyed, those who now reject the Lord. And, straighteneth means, to correct, to make you walk the straight line. So unless you do it God's way, he will just let it all go to nothing, and it'll be a giant dictatorship, communist, socialist system, whatever else. Cuba did this, Russia's done this in the past, they're trying to go back to it in a sense. China's done this, North Korea's done this, and these are places you don't want to live. They're not places with just justice and everything else. And America's becoming like that. All these nations where, like, Middle East is a big time like that. With the Muslim system, the Islam system, is like, it's a giant dictatorship. Live the way we say, or we kill you in the street. First they'll abuse you and mistreat you before they kill you. They're very violent people. I can't say the Russian people are bad, but the current leader and the current government, same thing. China's kind of like the same way. Chinese people don't want to dominate the world. They just want a decent life. And all they have is what government they have that's controlling them. North Koreans, the same thing. And the Cubans, the same thing. But the Cubans voted in communism, and now they're stuck in it. They used to be one of the most bountiful nations in the planet. And then the poor people started, complaining. They didn't want to work for a living, but they wanted to live like the rich, this, that, and the other. So eventually they spread their propaganda to the point everybody said, okay, and they voted in socialism, and they've been destroyed ever since. Once they took all the money they could, or this, that, and the other, and they made the dollar worthless in their country, everybody suffers, except the government. They still live high on the hog. Why? Because that's what these people are. They want to be, they like slaves. They like to rule over people. That's all it's about. And they get weak people to follow them to do things their way. Anyways, it's kind of like things happening to America. It's happening in Canada. It's happening in Mexico, and other places as well, and where the people are becoming weak. But now you got strong people standing up, trying to do the right thing, trying to walk the straight and narrow. And you got to get everyone else on board if you want it to work. That's why I say you got to fix the home first, then the homes fix society, then societies fix the states, and the states fix the country. But let's continue on here, chapter 13. Lo, mine eye hath seen all this, mine ear hath heard and understood it. What ye know, the same do I know also. I am not inferior unto you. Surely I would speak to the Almighty, and I desire to reason with God. But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. Oh, that ye would altogether hold your peace, and it should be your wisdom. Understand that it'd be better for you just to be quiet, and you'd be far wiser doing that and what you're doing, because you're just. It's like the old saying: it's better to be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. Verse 6. Hear now my reasonings, and hearken to the pleadings of my lips. Will ye speak wickedly for God, and talk deceitfully for him? Will ye accept his person? Will ye contend for God? Is it good that he should search you out? Or as one man mocketh another, do ye so mock him? He will surely reprove you, if ye do secretly accept persons. Shall not his excellency make you afraid, and his dread fall upon you? Your remembrances are like unto ashes, your bodies to bodies of clay. Hold your peace, let me alone, that I may speak, and let come on me what will. Wherefore do I take my flesh in my teeth, and put my life in mine hand? Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him, but I will maintain mine own ways before him. He also shall be my salvation, for an hypocrite shall not come before him. That's a warning to all people. Verse 16. Hypocrites will not enter the kingdom. So, scriptures always talk about this. Continue on 17. Hear diligently my speech and my declaration with your ears. Behold, now I have ordered my cause. I know that I shall be justified. Who is he that will plead with me? For now, if I hold my tongue, I shall give up the ghost. Only do not two things unto me, then will I not hide myself from thee. Withdraw thine hand far from me, and let not thy dread make me afraid. Then call thou, and I will answer, or let me speak, and answer thou me. How many are mine iniquities and sins? Make me to know my transgression and my sin. Wherefore hidest thou thy face, and holdest me for thine enemy? Wilt thou break a leaf driven to and fro, and wilt thou pursue the dry stubble? For thou writest bitter things against me, and makest me to possess the iniquities of my youth. Thou puttest my feet also in the stocks, and lookest narrowly unto all my past. Thou settest a print unto the heels of my feet. And he as a rotten thing consumeth as a garment that is moth-eaten. Now here this other part is, it's kind of like the Democrat Party today. I ain't going to say just a Democrat Party. There's a lot of injustice going on in America and around the world. It's like, instead of like, hey, show me the crime and we'll find the perpetrator. It's like, no. Now it's like, show me the person and I will find you the crime. And that's what he's doing here. It's like, it's like sinners, telling him, say, hey, you're trying to hold against me things I did when I was young and I didn't know any better. Iniquities of my youth and this, that, and the other. As you get older, you get wiser and you walk better with the Lord, because when you're young, you're going to do foolish things because you're not wise yet. You don't know as much. But here's like you're talking about 27, they're putting them in the stocks and everything else. And then, then they're trying to, set us a print upon the heels of my feet. It's like, then you're trying, you're trying to lock him up and then walk his footsteps to find something wrong to say, here's what you did wrong, as you already put him in the stocks. You done locked him up and then says, no, we're going to go find something so we can accuse you of it. So that's what that's talking about there. And for the last chapter of today, chapter 14. Man that is born of a woman is of few days and full of trouble. He cometh forth like a flower and is cut down. He fleeth also as a shadow and continueth not. And dost thou open thine eyes upon such an one, and bringest me into judgment with thee? Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Turn from him that he may rest, till he shall accomplish as an hireling his day. For there is hope of a tree, if it be cut down, that it will sprout again, and that the tender branch thereof will not cease. Though the root thereof wax old in the earth, and the stock thereof die in the ground, yet through the scent of water it will bud, and bring forth boughs like a plant. There's a lot of, I've seen it, you see it quite a bit at times. Top of a tree starts getting bad, they'll cut a tree in half and let it sit, and branches will start coming back out from the parts that's not dead yet, because the roots are still good. That's what it's talking about here. So even if you cut the tree down, if it's got a great foundation, it will rise again. That's what it's talking about there. That's why it's very important to make sure your foundation is rock solid with Christ. That no matter what the world does to you, you will stand again. Verse 10. But man dieth and wasteth away. Yea, man giveth up the ghost, and where is he? As the waters fail from the sea, and the flood decayeth and drieth up, so man lieth down and riseth not, till the heavens be no more. They shall not awake, nor be raised out of their sleep. Oh, that thou wouldest hide me in the grave, that thou wouldest keep me secret until thy wrath be past, that thou wouldest appoint me a set time and remember me. If a man die, shall he live again? All the days of my appointed time will I wait till my change come. Now here he keeps hearing, says, will the man live again? He says, no, the man as he is, once a person dies as they are, they won't live again as they are. That body is gone. But you already had the part over here where it talks about, where was it? Talking about heaven. Now here in 12 like so says, so man lieth down and riseth not till the heavens be no more. And what it means by that is, these people already knew that the heavens will enter the earth one day. That's what God talks about, judgment day, this, that, and the other. They don't talk about too much in Old Testament about that. It's talked more in New Testament. But, one day God's going to bring his kingdom from heaven down to earth and rule the earth. Right now, Satan's in charge of the earth. He's dominion because people sinned. Eve sinned, then Adam sinned, being deceived by Eve. And so mankind brought sin into the earth. So right now Satan's in charge until he's cast into the lake of fire. But anyways, verse 14. If a man dies, shall he live again? All the days of my appointed time will I wait till my change come. Thou shalt call, and I will answer thee. Thou wilt have a desire to the work of thine hands. For now thou numberest my steps. Dost thou not watch over my sin? My transgression is sealed up in a bag, and thou sewest up mine iniquity. And surely the mountain falling cometh to naught, and the rock is removed out of his place. The waters wear the stones. Thou washest away the things which grow out of the dust of the earth, and thou destroyest the hope of man. Thou prevailest for ever against him, and he passeth. Thou changest his countenance, and sendest him away. His sons come to honor, and he knoweth it not. And they are brought low, but he perceived it not of them. But his flesh upon him shall have pain, and his soul within him shall mourn. And that's the end of this lesson today. Lots of stuff to pray about. Lots of good information in there. About life in general, about, listening to the wise people, understanding what it takes to become a wise person. A young person can never be a wise person because a young person hasn't experienced life yet. But yet today you got 20-year-olds thinking that they know everything, and so they don't listen to the elders who are trying to show them the proper path. And then they blame the world for their calamities because they chose not to listen. A lot of people don't want to take accountability for the wrong they do. But also you need to stay firm when you know you're doing right. Pray for the lost, the found, yourself, others, all people, all nations, everywhere, everything. Don't forget to ask for a double portion and a hedge of protection. These are very important things to ask for. And don't forget, there's problems going all around the world. You may be in one of those countries listening to this that's having to deal with said problems. And so, pray for yourself. We're going to pray for you. Hope so anyways. Make sure you always converse with God before making decisions. If not, you'll end up with a bad decision made that you may have to learn to live with, that will cause problems for the rest of your days. Doing a stupid stunt trying to impress somebody may damage your body and it never recovers. I worked in I was in the military for quite many years, retired, but my body suffers for it. I was combat arms, I was ground force, operated tanks, this, that, and the other. Heavy equipment stuff, blah, blah, blah. It takes a toll on your body. I didn't take the office job, or I didn't even know that they even existed. I was 17 when I signed up. I was too young. I wasn't wise enough. I shouldn't even have been there. I should have had somebody wiser with me, but I was in that situation. I didn't have no one in my life guiding me. And so I was making decisions on my own, and I wasn't old enough to make those decisions yet, but I had to learn to live with them. I couldn't change them once the decision was made. So hopefully I reach people before they do such things, because it ain't saying that it curses your life and you can't be a Christian. Far be it. You can always be a Christian. You can always go to heaven, regardless of what decision you made of life beforehand. Unless it's the mark of the beast. If you only take the mark of the beast when that comes onto the scene, sorry, Scripture says there's no help for you then. That one can't be undone. I always talk to God first. Give him all praise, glory, and worship, and thanks in everything, good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent. That's the end of this lesson here today. So, until next time, God bless, good day, and goodbye.